Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the third episode of the conversation with NPB. Today, it's going to be a very special episode because we're going to have three guests. The first guest we're having is Justin.
Yes, my name is Justin Martin. I'm our Director of Student Life. So I work with a lot of our leadership programs, clubs and organizations, fitness, folks like that. So my team really works to help support students in a lot of different areas, including our Student Resource Center as well.
The second guest we're going to be having is Maddie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Maddie McLeod, and I serve as a Student Life Involvement Coordinator at Normandale Community College. So in this role, I have the absolute pleasure of advising these folks in the Normandale Program Board. I also have the opportunity to advise Phi Theta Kappa, who is our honor society, and I also get to help all of our clubs and orgs on campus do their event planning for the year.
And our final guest is Padal.
My name is Padal Yang. My first name is Padal, my last name is Yang, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. And my title at Normandale Department of Student Life is Student Life Equity Coordinator.
Anyways, we're going to have some questions for them to answer regarding what's going on campus and especially what Student Life is doing right now to help out students. And let's just get right into it.
So our first question is, how are you handling the sudden change in this semester, and what are you doing to stay safe and healthy?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a transition, there's no doubt, right? That it was quite the change, to be, even for us working from home and helping to support students from home and not having those face-to-face interactions. So I've been really trying to concentrate a lot on what I feel like we can do and the Student Life team can do to help support students and support student wellness. But personally, I've just been trying to take a lot of walks and kind of get outside. I love to garden and I love to landscape. And so we started on some of those projects just to be able to get outside and get active and have conversations across the street with neighbors and things like that, and connect with friends by Zoom. But I just have also tried to be really conscious about checking in with myself about kind of what do I need to be well. And that's what I would suggest for students too, to be honest, is just really trying to check in every once in a while with yourself and just make sure that you're being gentle with yourself. A mentor one time told me that, to just kind of be gentle with yourself during times of hard transition and change. And so I've tried to really internalize that and work with that. But the other thing that we're really doing is we're just limiting our trips out. We're wearing face masks, we're washing our hands, all the things that are being suggested just to try to kind of flatten the curve and keep other people safe.
The community on campus is a big part of student life. What are some challenges you have faced with people not being present on campus anymore?
So like I mentioned with the change cycle, I think something that we really have to acknowledge is that not having the on-campus events it's the trauma. It is a loss for our students. Our clubs and our organizations take a lot of time and a lot of energy to put in the work and plan these events. A lot of these are year-to-year events, such as Spring Fling. I had the opportunity to host the recognition banquet. I still am. We have turned that into a virtual format. But that was, to me, that felt like a loss too. I had some really good ideas that I was looking to implement, and I'm now unfortunately not able to do that on campus. But realizing and looking at the programming, just working through that maybe things are not going to look the same as if they were on campus. Maybe we might not be able to do things at such a large scale that we were before, because realizing that students may not have the ability to do things at the capacity that they were if we were on campus. A lot of students have just mentioned that they've had an overall lack of motivation. A lot of students have told me I go to campus at 9 a.m. and I go home at 8 p.m. But because when I'm on campus, I can focus and I can get things done. But now that I'm at home, I might have younger siblings that are pulling me their direction. I might, need to work more. A lot of our students are in both situations. Some of our students are not able to work at all right now. And some of our students are essential workers and they're being asked to work even more than they normally would. And so having that flexibility to really check in and engage with our students to make sure that we are still providing for them the programming from our department, but making sure that it's at a level that students are able to engage in. But I would definitely say it's been a huge shift from not being on campus, but really just trying to make sure that we're listening to students and saying, well, if we don't want to maybe do things this way, or we need to downscale it a little bit, how can we make sure that we're still engaging with your peers and with students to a level that is right for this kind of moment?
What are some exciting things that you're working on as a student life member to uphold the student life mission? And I know that you're also the coordinator for the Diversity Center. So are there any other events in the Diversity Center that we should look out for?
Yes, absolutely. The Department of Student Life is continuously to work on a lot of different online Zoom virtual programming and efforts to keep students engaged. And then in regards to what I do, I'm also trying to support that effort as well. And so as you mentioned, I oversee the Diversity Center. So at this point, I'd like to share my screen and show our Diversity Center website. And so you can see all of our programming listed. So let me just click over. Are you all able to see that okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So on our Diversity Center website, you could just go to normandale.edu, and in this, you click on Campus Life and then click on Student Life, and then you have to click on Diversity Center as well. But once you get to the Diversity Center website, it states our Native American Indigenous Land Acknowledgement. We just put that in this past month. And then we have our mission, our vision, but most importantly for online programming, under the Diversity Center programming page here, this is where we have all of the programming that's happening this month in April. And so we are still continuing our programming of Movie Mondays, Tips Tuesdays, Wisdom Wednesdays, and Throwback Thursdays. Again, Movie Monday showcase a film revolving around diversity, equity, and inclusion, and join in with a facilitated conversation between myself and our graduate assistant, Zainab. And so on April 13th, we showcased these two YouTube clips and TED Talks, and then had that conversation. And then for Tips Tuesdays, inviting a Normandale staff faculty to be to the center to talk about their support services or resources for students. So in the past, we've had like the Counseling Center, Financial Aid, or the Center for Experiential Education. This past week, we had Michael Kranz from the Student Resource Center come in and talk. And so the nice thing is, again, all the Zoom URL links are here. So anybody who comes to this page can click on it and join during that time frame, and we'll be live. Wisdom Wednesdays is an external community member invited to the center to give presentations or training about their services, tools, and resources with a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So this last Wednesday, we had our guest speaker, Abdullahi Farah, Executive Director of Al Farouk Islamic Center, come in to talk about the meaning of Ramadan and fasting, because Ramadan is going to happen on April 24th. And so that one was exciting because we were just able to learn a lot about Ramadan, and we had about 15 students who logged in to learn about that workshop. So that was exciting. For Throwback Thursdays, it's a chance to engage in historical events related to diversity, equity, and inclusion that is still relevant to current events today. So yesterday, our graduate assistant Zainab hosted a conversation on Muhammad Ali's refusal to the army and talk about that. So these are just some examples we did this week, but in our next couple of weeks here on the week of April 27th, that week we will have Monday through Thursday programming as well, all listed here with the URL link for Zoom. So anybody can join in. We highly encourage students, staff, and faculty to join in and participate with us. On top of that, if students just want to learn more about some additional resources, we have our resource link here for Google Maps. And once students click into this, it just gives students an opportunity to look at different resources within the state of Minnesota. Part of our goal is to target and support underrepresented student populations, and these are are students of color that identify as Asian, Black, African American, Indigenous, Latino, LGBTQ, woman, anybody that has disability needs support. So on the left-hand side here, those are some of those communities that we have put resources out within the state of Minnesota. So any student or staff or faculty who comes to the diversity website can click on any of these and it will populate their information and contact. So they can also contact that resource directly as well. So that's one piece there about the Diversity Center. Another piece that I oversee is our reflection room as well. So this next tab here has our reflection room information. Now, typically our reflection room is a physical space where students can go in to meditate, reflect, or pray, or just use that space in however way they feel comfortable reflecting. And so because campus is currently campus is still open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., but we highly discourage anybody come to campus unless they've been directed to by staff, faculty, or their supervisor. But in the response to COVID-19, we also wanted to provide online reflective practices to support people's learning. So on the Reflection Room website, there are tons of different links and YouTube videos that has a variety of reflective support for anybody who comes to this page. And then there's some articles, some podcasts as well that anybody can go listen to. And so these are just some resources that anybody who lands on the Reflection Room page can utilize. And of course, Normandale is not the owner of these content information, but so students, staff, or faculty, or anybody who comes to this page, there's a disclaimer here that if they are concerned, they should consult with their provider of healthcare before they move forward with any of these. The last thing I want to talk about is we do have, because April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we do have a workshop happening, and I'm just going to show in a Word document here. So we have a Title IX workshop that is being held by Bina Cook, who is a staff at Normandale. She's also the Title IX coordinator. So we have a workshop that is being held twice, and one is on Tuesday, April 21st from 3 to 4, and the other one is on Thursday, April 23rd from 11 to 12. So each of them have a Zoom URL link that's different that students can go to. This was emailed out to students. This was also emailed out to faculty from specific departments like psychology, sociology, social work, so they can also encourage students to participate in these conversations. But basically, Bina is going to do an in-depth look at the Title IX process. Anybody who joins in, particularly the target is for students, they'll be able to sit in the investigator's chair and see how some of the cases are and what the Title IX team experiences. So basically, if students join in this workshop, they get to be in the investigator chair and decide what would happen. And so those are just some of the things that we have going on, and there are tons of other things happening too, but that's what I'll share for now.